And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
Guest is JP, ET contactee and U.S. Army retired veteran, as well as a former member of disclosed missions. JP, welcome back. It's great to have you again.
Hey, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here, Jeff. Amazing times that we're living.
That's true. And I want to let everybody know that the last time JP was here, he was wearing a mask. So you may not be recognizing him this time because this is the first time he's here unmasked. JP, you're a handsome guy and it's good to see you without the mask on. How does it feel to take it off?
Thank you. Appreciate it. I think it was time. I think people needed to see my face, because I've been doing updates with Dr. Michael Sala and other channels with my mask, and I've been talking around the world even with a mask. So the last GSIC in Charlotte, I decided to reveal my face to the public, and I think it was time because disclosure, everybody's talking about disclosure now. So I guess I was waiting for the whistleblower protection to activate before me showing my face.
How has the audience and people that you meet reacted to you without a mask?
Oh, the support is amazing. It's just, I think it's more, the doors open more to talk in different shows, to get different opportunities to talk about my experience. So I think it's better. It's better without a mask. You can feel people better with eye contact, communicating with hugs, with a helmet and mask. It was really hard, to communicate with people.
Where are we at on 3i Atlas? Have you been following up with that?
Yeah, it's done doing perihelium. It did something to the sun behind it that now we're getting the effects. So it's crazy how when 3i Atlas did perihelium, we're getting all these major effects, storms from the sun. So Antarctica, you can see in Chile, you can see the lights there. You can see as far to Florida, you can see the lights there. So something is happening in space that NASA and other government agencies or space agencies don't want to talk about yet. But it's not just 3i Atlas. We have like 740 objects, and it's booming up in, what we'll call it, in numbers coming in our solar system, with similar readings of 3i Atlas. So they're quite smaller, bro. They're coming in armadas, and they're facing Earth, and they're picking that up right now. And that's after 3i Atlas and Swan is heading out our solar system. Now 3i Atlas is heading towards Jupiter, and I think Juno is going to have a really good chance of, hopefully we don't have another government shutdown that we can't get the shots of it. But I think other agencies, space agencies from Japan already has it. But it's weird how the pictures that NASA took, they classified it for 90 years. So it's quite interesting. I think it's going to be, when they reveal what this really was and what is sending to Earth and activating Earth with the sun, it's going to be amazing. It's going to awaken a lot of people.
So do you feel that it is a spacecraft, or do you feel like it's some kind of interstellar comet that they piggybacked tech on top of it?
Yeah, I think it's a comet that they piggyback a type of technology on it to activate certain things on Earth and other planets that we have in our solar system. Emery Smith and we talked about this July, like one of the first ones to talk about. And we talked about how 3i Atlas can activate some things on Phobos, some things on Mars, and also activate some things in Antarctica and around our solar system. And after we put out a video in July, and I have it over there on Instagram, you can scroll all the way down to July, and we posted something about Three Eye Atlas before other people started posting about it. And we talked about it because, you met Emery Smith. He gets a lot of information. He was prior military as well. I get prior information as well from other sources. I was stationed here in Eglin Air Force Base, and if you study what is Eglin Air Force Base, it's one of the biggest. It's the biggest Air Force base in the United States of America. So, being that it's the biggest, as in the Panhandle in Florida, and the situation that's happened now in Puerto Rico and Venezuela, I won't get a lot into that, but we have a lot of different types of branches that branch out from Eglin Air Force Base, and now even more that they moved Space Command to Huntsville, Alabama. Now, and that was another good confirmation because around Alabama we have an underground base that I talked with Dr. Sala that I went into a mission that they were training Nordics, extraterrestrials were training military personnel pilots from different nations, basically the nations that are part of the Artemis Accord are being trained in these facilities in Alabama. So I won't get a lot into the location because of the security of this nation, but the United States has a lot of technology. So basically, Eglin is like the Area 51 of the South. So it's amazing, Jeff.
While we're on the topic of Nordics, you had contact with a Nordic interdimensional angel before.
I live 20 minutes from Alabama and 30 minutes from the base. So behind my backyard, I got a lot of wooded area, right? And there's people hunting, there's deers, there's pigs, but behind my house there's a creek. I don't know if you're familiar with Laura Eisenhower. She came to my house, and I took her back there, and she felt a beautiful sensation back there. So I do take people. I took Dr. Sal already back there, and in this location behind my house, I get visited by orbs. I get visited by these beings, Nordic beings, that they talk to me. And if you look at the religious part of it, some people will call these angels by the way how you feel when these beings approach you. You feel a sensation that your body doesn't comprehend. It's like a love that you can't comprehend, and you feel a vibration towards these beings, and they talk to you telepathically. But I think it's a type of technology that they use with consciousness and frequency that they can connect with your brain, and this frequency of sound that we can't hear. I know dogs can hear way better than us. So I think it's a type of frequency that is so high pitched that comes out from them for a technology. I don't know if it's a bracelet or something connected into their brain that when they talk to you without moving their lips, you can understand and comprehend what they're saying. So I think for me, it's a type of technology. I don't think it's a like an ability, or I think it's I think studying where AI is going and VR, AR, and consciousness, I think we're going to have the ability to have that type of technology and communicate telepathically. So it's a beautiful sensation when you interact with this being. Some people, when they interact, they're in a state of shock and they get scared. And these beings, when they sense that somebody is scared, they walk away just not to harm the being that they're interacting with, or they just disappear, vibrate in a fast sense, and they just disappear. So these Nordics, they have long hair. The Nordics that work with the military, they have a uniform and they got short hair, but you can see that their skin is really pale. really white and pale. These nordics has been, and I seen it. We picked up a couple nordics. We bring them inside the base, and a facility, a building inside the base, they change them to look like us. They give them passports, they give them IDs, and they walk among us. Like, you could be walking down the street, and right next to you in the car, you could have a Nordic, and you won't know it's a Nordic because they have been changed. Like, the change that they go through is drastic. They change, they could change their skin color, they could change their facial features, and we have the technology to change these people. If we study how the intelligence community and how throughout the years the intelligence community have mastered how to change people in order to spy on other people. So they're walking among us, the Nordics. And also on top of that, we got interdimensional beings that we can't see, but they walk among us. Uh, these beings walk in a different type of light that we can't see. Similar to the sound that we can't hear, also there's different light waves that we don't see.
How does one person not be afraid of these Nordics or any other beings? How do we control our fear so we can have contact?
So I think that's what the military looks at to choose the type of people that goes on these missions. See, my grandpa, he has been through an experience. My dad in Puerto Rico, he has been through an experience in Puerto Rico. Me in upstate New York, where I was born in Middletown, I started with my experience when I was young, following orbs to the woods, and when you see something that is weird, I think not to panic, not to feel fear, because fear is the things that we don't see, that we can't comprehend, we can't understand what it is. That's what fear is. So, but once you comprehend where these things are coming from and how they treat you every time you interact with them, you learn how to act when they appear. So I think it is by experience. Once you have a couple of these experiences, you become normal with it and the fear goes away. But when it happens for you in the first time, yes, you do have fear because you don't understand what's happening with you. So I kind of understand these people that have interactions with what these gray aliens or other beings. And yes, there is bad beings out there. And we do have to be careful how we summon these types of beings to interact with. And there's different procedures how to interact with these beings and to know if they're good or not. Me, before all these experience, or now, I still go to church. I'm a Christian. I serve God. I believe in the Lord. I believe in Jesus. I'm still religious, yes, because none of this stuff is going to change my perspective of what is creation and who is God. But yes, if the religion know what's out there, they're going to be confused if they don't know how to put two and two together. We had in the book, I don't know if you ever read the book of Enoch or how um, David or Solomon interacted with interdimensional beings in the Bible, how Moses opened the waters. It was probably a technology. The Bible, in sense, back in the days, could not comprehend what was technology, so they explain it with things that they already have. So my father was a pastor. He's a pastor. My wife, she's a pastor. You know, uh, and when I went to Brazil and I had my first experience with it with a Nordic, I was preaching in churches. So when I went to this farm and I interacted with this Nordic, I was like, oh man, what the heck is this? So when I explained to people, oh, those are demons. those are demons, but I don't want people to think that, because these beings are is they're like us, you know? And we have a lot of different types of different beings. We got beings that live in our oceans. We got beings that look like gray aliens, ant people that live inside our inner earth, that also humans live among them, that in different national parks around the world, they have been living there for thousands of years and taught humanity, like for example, the Hopi Indians, you know, how to live, and certain other types of culture people, how to live. And these beings, they all look different, like humans look different. You know, we got in Africa, we got dark skinned people. In China, Oriental, or Japan, we got people that look Oriental with their eyes. You know, people look different, as well as these beings that are way high level in technology and spirituality, that are trying to communicate with us without making us kill ourselves, you know. So I believe all these technologies, like the cell phone, the AI that now is coming out, is given by these ETs for us to try to get to their level, for them to have more interaction with us, to communicate better with us. And I think that's where disclosure is going to happen. AI is advancing so many technologies, Jeff, that it's overwhelming the scientific community of how fast technology is moving with AI.
Earlier, you mentioned that communication with the Nordics may be done with tech. Is it possible that all that love that you feel from these beings as well is created by tech?
It could be a possibility. We have the technology of frequency that you can change somebody's mood by music or by light or vibration. It could be a possibility that they project that for us not to feel calm when we interact with them. So yes, it could be a possibility that the technology of feeling good and feeling accepted is also given by them. Yes, it could be a possibility, a real big possibility. And also these ships also can be giving out technology as well, because when you interact with these ships, you feel the same thing. If they were an organism trying to communicate with you, so it could be possibility. Yes, Jeff, I believe it could be a type of technology that makes you feel like that.
JP, are you aware of what planet the Nordics come from, or at least what star system?
I'm not aware of what planet they're from. Oh, I know they look really similar to us. If they do come from a different planet, it's like a scattered. It's not just one planet. They come from multiple planets, and you could tell the different types of Nordics that come and visit us. You know, you got the military type, you got the peaceful type, you got other Nordics that are really not aggressive, but they're really straightforward, like Vulcans. You know, and you could tell if they come from different, or you got also beings that look human and they're really tall, that live inside our oceans. You know, that also you can they can look like Nordics as well, but they also have, by under India and Madagascar, there is a city there that these tall beings that live in our oceans, they have black skin and they look from African descendant. So it's it's amazing. We have a lot of stuff in our oceans as well. But yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know the exact planet they come from.
Have you ever had contact with feline-like beings typically associated with being from Lyra?
I have an experience I had, I think in 2000, I could say maybe 2010. I gave this update to Dr. Michael Sala. I got taken to a dome, and this dome was like, It was like to try out new weapons. And this was way before I was in the military. And these people, they have a slit right here, starting from their nose, coming down from their lip, and their lip is separated. And their ear, instead of being here, is more higher. And their eyes, they look oriental. Yes, they look like a hairless cat type of people, you know. And they were training us how to use certain types of weapons. And I noticed that there were soldiers also there with me, but I wasn't a soldier yet. I was a civilian. I came back from Brazil with an experience with Nordics. And after I came back from Brazil, all these experience getting picked up by the military, getting interrogated, uh, interacting with beings coming from an egg-shaped ship from the moon that look Indian with robes and explaining to me how to do things. Beings like that look, their facial features look human, but they have the slit and their ears up here, and they look, you know, cattish, you know. And they had a uniform on, but that was one being I interacted. Yes, I interacted with a being that looks like a cat. Yeah, and but their hands are like this instead of straight. So their hands are always like in the bent position. Their legs are slightly longer. Their ankles are elongated. So I think people could compare them to one of those ancient Egyptian gods in Egypt, that came down and interacted with them.
What can you tell us about the truth apocalypse that's coming?
There's going to be a lot of people talking about different types, and this includes different types of religions that talk about different apocalyptic things that might happen. You can read the book of Revelations. You can also read certain religions that talk about another flood that's going to occur because of the core of the earth. It stops, and then all the oceans starts covering all that was land, and it just switches everything. The equator becomes the north and south pole, and it's just a drastic. I don't know if you saw the movie 2012. Something similar to that. A lot of people talk about, but I don't like to bring fear to everybody about and I know what's happening is we're going to have disclosure soon, and new technology is going to come, and we're going to have fun with these new technologies. But on top of that, every time there's new technology, there's always somebody that wants to be better than somebody else. If we have um, things that can manipulate space and time, there's going to be always people wanting to use that as a weapon. So what I say, take care of yourself, eat good, and be safe with your family, and I think anything can happen, Jeff, nowadays.
Would you say that the truth apocalypse is going to be disclosure plus perhaps the history of humanity is going to be revealed as well?
When you say apocalypse, are you saying the end of the world with humanity?
I'm just saying, like, all these hidden truths are going to come out.
Yes, I think all the hidden truth is going to come out. Sooner or later, the truth is going to come out. But we have to be really, really careful, with AI, manipulating certain things on the internet, manipulating photos, manipulating. Uh, it's gonna try to change the way we see things, and it's already doing it. It's AI is becoming insane. That technology is becoming Terminator-like, So we do have to be careful with this AI.
You said that disclosure is coming soon. How soon?
It's gonna come in bits and pieces. It's not gonna come as an avalanche. It's gonna come down in bits and pieces, and similar to what happened with what's happening now with the aliens, people talking in Congress about UFOs, UAPs, and now everybody's talking about it. It's a normal conversation down the street when it was when you're considered to be crazy when you talked about these certain subjects. Now everybody's talking about it like normality, and that's what's happening. That's how disclosure is going to happen. They're going to start drip dropping and getting the green light to talk about these certain like space and time, and then people are going to start talking about space and time, teleportation. Oh yeah, we have something. Japan created something with teleportation and free energy device that can help humanity. Oh, okay, boom. Oh, we found ruins on the moon. Oh, we found ruins on the moon. Also, oh, we're finding ruins in Phobos and Mars. Oh, okay. Under Mars, there's a big ocean that is made by a volcanic cave system that is extinct, but now we know that there's oceans under Mars, and we're gonna have to explore these caves under Mars and make sure there's no life over there. So little disclosures like that is gonna pop out, and then you're gonna have people like me or people like you that share people in your channel that gives out these informations prior, So I got the green light to talk about my experience. It's not in it's not in Congress. It's not no, but all the things I've been saying since 2008 has been coming out to the light. I think when you start talking about these things and you get the green light, higher people are going to see it, and they're going to start pushing it as well because they know it's true.
Have you been underground and had contact with the ant people? And if so, what are they like?
People can confuse them with grays. Okay, if they take off their antenna type of dreads that they have, because their eyes are big, their nose are flattened, their mouth are small, and I think what happened was these ant people, a portion of them went to space, separated, went to space, and some of them stayed behind in the inner earth and kept their traditions. So the ones that went to space and inhabited other planets has different gravity, different types of animals, different types of air. So throughout 2,000 or 300,000 years, their body adapted to these planets, and now they're coming back to Earth where they originated from, and they look different. So, like I said before, how humans look different on Earth. We got Asians, we got people that have, black people, white people, Indian people. How people look different, the same way the ant people, they have the different types of branches of different types of people that they have. So yes, they can be really confused with the grays. They're a grayish tan color. Um, their eyes are huge, but they have like something that comes out their head that looks like dreads, but it looks like an antenna, two antenna. So that's why I think the Hopi used to call them the ant people and all these arts and all that. I send you that video. I don't know if you got that video I send you in in WhatsApp. I send you a video of that. And that is a description of how they look like. And they have technology that are a couple thousand years more advanced than what we have. Yeah, it's not technology like the internet it's just the knowledge that they have on elements. And we got the humans also that live among them. So, throughout the years, there's a lot of people that get lost in national parks, and people have been doing research on that. Why there's so many people getting lost in Alaska or in these big national parks? Because in these national parks, we have entrances that the ant people, they come out and they see somebody that's lost and say, hey, we'll take care of you, don't be scared of us, we got you. So these people, they end up in the inner earth, and life is so beautiful. We have these people that are living 300 to 400 years old, and the science that they have. Who wants to come back to Upper Earth, you know, and live? If you're living in the streets under a bridge asking for money, you get lost in the national park and you interact with these beings. You know, it's amazing. And then inside these national parks, in the inner Earth part, we also have what these beings that look like Sasquatch that live also among them in the distance, you know. So it's not just the ant people that live in the inner Earth. There's different pockets. There's humans also that have their own civilizations that is separated from them, but is still connected with the knowledge.
Are reptilians living down there too?
I only interacted once with a reptilian, and I did not get close to it. Uh, their facial features, like I said, it could be also a branch from the ant people, you know, but they just look different. And but it is their own. They're really separated from everything. But I'm sure they have their pocket of type of cities that are in the inner Earth. But I haven't as much interacted with the reptilians.
What can you tell us about the Space Ark missions?
I know there's a massive ship right now in between Puerto Rico and Venezuela, in one of the biggest trenches that we have that can fit Mount Everest plus I don't know how many feet left after Mount Everest can fit there. But this massive ship is like 4 to 7 miles big. It's in the Atlantic Ocean. We got another one in the Pacific Ocean. We got other one in Brazil. We got another one in Ukraine. We got another one in Antarctica. We got another one in North America. Um, the I can't tell you the location of that because of national security. We got one in South Korea that everybody knows about. One in the continent of Africa in the Sahara Desert. It's massive.
When you say these land places like Africa and South Korea, do you mean the arcs are in orbit or landed on the ground?
They are under the ground.
Under the ground.
Yeah, couple thousand feet under. Yeah, under the ground, and there's tunnels that takes you to these arcs. There's one in Japan, right by Mount Fuji. There's a massive one on the moon that the Chinese and Americans did an expedition on it. They're scattered all around our solar system, around the rings of Saturn. There's two next to the moon called Pan, and a lot of people are saying that the moon Pan, if you do research and you look at the moon Pan, it looks like a massive flying saucer, huge. So, and now we got this 3i Atlas coming in our solar system the size of Manhattan, activating all these, not just arcs, all these smaller ships that probably the Indian culture called Vimanas that are scattered as well. It's not just these massive ships. There's medium building size ships that are scattered all over the place as well. And I think the military and the governments, they know about these ships that are, the one in the Atlantic is already occupied by the Nordics. They're controlling it. Comes out from the ocean and hovers, and then comes in and it goes really deep inside the ocean and stays there. But right now, what I know, the Atlantic space arc is in between Puerto Rico and Venezuela.
Which ETs are in charge of these ARKS?
We got the humans and we got the nordics that are involved, and we got these interdimensional spiritual beings as well that are involved. They're they're involved by opening different types of portals inside these arcs, or technology that is so advanced that can transport you from arc to arc. And all these arcs, they're like a cut and paste of each other. So say the Pacific arc, there's scientists inside these arcs and another government that's inside, they can radio or phone the people that are inside the Atlantic arc and say, hey, what do you have in that room? We found this and this and that. And it's in the top right corner, and they give coordinates 3256 5621. All right, let me check it out. They go to the same coordinates of the ship because the ships are all the same size, and the same room, they find the same thing. And these different chambers, all these chambers are in the same location. It's like going to a grocery store over here in Florida. Like they're all in the same location, the produce section, and you know what to look for. So it's I think these ships were made in space, like factory made, and it was sprung here on Earth. So inside these arcs also there's languages on the walls with different civilizations, different languages, civilizations that are no more, that they don't live no more. It just stops. And then now you have our civilization. We're putting our information on these arcs. And I'm not saying we're getting to the end, but I think something is going to happen, Jeff. I don't know what's going to happen yet. So it's going to be something that's going to change our. It's not bad, but I got offered a job. Okay, I'm going to say this in your channel. I said it in Dr. Salah's channel, but I got offered a job and I'm going to take it. It's part of an agency that I'm going to work for. And if I get this job, I think I'm going to do a lot more stuff to help humanity, So it's gonna, I just retired from the military August 30th of last year, not this year. So I was a paratrooper. I went to Fort Jackson for my basic training. I went to Fort Lee, Virginia for my MOS. MOS is a type of job that I got. I was a 91 Juliet, and I was another job also that I can't disclose yet. And then I went to Fort Benning, Georgia for my airborne school, and I went to airborne school with Rangers, Green Berets, and also Recon Marines and Navy SEALs. We all go to airborne school together. After that, I was stationed in Eglin Air Force Base, but I'm Army, so you could put one and one together to see where I was stationed. I can't tell you the unit I was in, but I was stationed in Eglin Air Force Base. And from there, so all these experiences happened when I was a civilian, but when I was in the military, that's when I started visiting the space arcs with other soldiers, not just me. Other soldiers has experienced this.
If you take this new job, are you going to disappear for a while and we won't get you back on the podcast?
Well, it depends. It depends what the jobs consist of. I don't have the whole thing what I'm gonna do, but if I get this job, I think I'm not gonna disappear because I get the green light by this guy that works in Washington, D.C. He comes down to Eglin and he says, yes, you could talk about this, you could talk about this, but don't talk about this. You can't talk about this. But I've been working with him since Tampa, Florida. He was there in MacDill. And now he's stationed here in Eglin Air Force Base and Washington, D.C. So when I go to the base and meet up with him, I tell him my experience. He says, okay, you could talk about this and this, but don't talk about this detail. Don't talk about this. So uh, hopefully I could talk about certain stuff that I do. Yeah. I won't have I don't think I will have a problem. I'm already out there. You know, I had a mask because of that, because I was in the military. Once I was a year out, that's when I unmasked and I could talk more about what I went through.
Some of my guests have on camera these plasma orbs that we look at during the podcast. Do you know what those things are?
Yes, it's a technology that is thousands of years old. Some of these Nordic ships and some of these cigar shaped ships and some of these cities that are in our oceans, they let go these orbs, right? And these orbs come out and they do recon. They could be the size of golf balls or the size of beach balls, depending of what type of technology they are. And they're like a bluish white color, but when they're not um, glowing in color, they're a metallic color. So a lot of people it could be that what we have with the Bugosphere, it could be one of these technologies, and I think that the Bugosphere is really interesting. They just carbon, dated it, and it's like what 14,000 years old. A lot of people are doing research on these type of spheres. They're finding in South America, North America, and Africa. They're finding a lot of these spheres, and also India. In India, and they just found out that the language that was in the Bugosphere is from India descent, Sanskrit. So I think it's an old technology that is still going around of a civilization that lived on top of Earth, but are still alive in the inner Earth and inner oceans. And it's out to check how the atmosphere is, because I think there was a big catastrophe every couple thousands of years. Every 40,000, there's a major catastrophe that happens on Earth that everybody goes either into these arcs or they go into the inner Earth until everything is clear and then they start coming out. So I just think now these people are starting to send their little technology out to check how the surface is on Earth for them to come out to disclose their existence. So I think that's what's happening.
Do you think we're due for another catastrophe?
I think we're not. I think we're due with a major event that's going to happen that is similar to a catastrophe, but I don't think it's going to be our end. No.
Once this disclosure happens, are you going to be able to speak out more?
Yeah. I think I'm going to speak out more because everything that I already have said is recorded, with Dr. Sala. All the pictures I took with Dr. Michael Sala, you could go, everything is documented. All the information I gave out is already there. So I think people are gonna really look into my experience a little bit more. In Congress, we're still at the point of, yes, we're seeing ships, but when soldiers come out and say, yes, we've been to Mars, yes, we've been to the rings of Saturn, that's when it's gonna get really nutty. That's when people are gonna be like, oh, so that's where the money have been going. Um, Maybe Project Horizon never stopped. It kept going, you know, that project that they did with, I think, with Reagan, I think it started, or no, I think way before, I think in the 60s, or was it the 60s or the 50s yeah, I think it was the 50s that they started Project Horizon. And it was a project that they were going to build bases on the moon and bases on on Mars and different moons on Jupiter and Saturn, and they just stopped. But they're gonna figure out that that project kept going, and other projects that were hidden kept going, and it's gonna be exciting when people start. You know, I've been saying it. I've been around Jupiter. I saw Jupiter. I saw Saturn with my own eyes. I've been around the moon. I'm not an astronaut, you know, but I can consider myself, you know, if I guess, but I don't want to give a stolen valor that I'm an astronaut because there's hundreds of soldiers that go to space and work up there and then come back like if it was another day. Like if you took a flight to New York and came back, you know. Uh, so it's gonna be kind of cool, Jeff, when soldiers start saying that yes, we've been in space, we have people up there right now working on the moon. We have people right now working on Mars in the caves of the Mars of the Martians. You know, it's we're living exciting times. I think we are. I think disclosure is going to come soon.
Is there a movie or a TV show that's out there that would be similar to what you've experienced?
They have a lot. They have a lot of trip drops. I think filmmakers they get this information from the inside and they put it out there because they get the green light to. I think Star Trek is a big one. Uh, we got Stargate. That's another one. We got the Fifth Element. uh, it's Majority Report. It's so much movies that it interlocks on all these missions and all that. King Kong versus Godzilla going into the inner Earth. That was a jawbreaker when I saw it. You know, so it's yeah. There's a lot of movies, Jeff, out there that are drip dropping this information.
Do you think humanity is ready for full open disclosure?
We're never ready, but it's gonna happen. How can I put it into terms? No, I don't think humanity is ready, but we're gonna have to be ready because it's gonna happen. So we're gonna have to really, really get into why ride the wave of technology and not fall behind because it's gonna advance in these next couple years. Technology is gonna advance like 50 years ahead or 100 years ahead with AI. So just just ride the wave of technology. If not, you're gonna stay behind and you're gonna be lost in the sauce.
Do you think disclosure is up to the ETs?
Yes. I think disclosure is up to the ETs. If they really want to show themselves right now, they can. But it's also a spiritual thing, the interdimensional. These beings are involved a lot. So it's a mixture. But I think the ETs is the ET's choice if they want to reveal themselves. Yeah. And I think they're doing it with all these ships being shown all over the place.
Do you think that the increase of sightings is due to the ETs showing themselves, or there's always been a lot? It's just that now we can record them since everyone has a cell phone.
It's always been the same way. We just have more phones out there. Yeah, you're right. But I think it's increasing more. Yes, it's increasing more.
What is the name of your YouTube channel if people want to check out more of your content?
It's called JP1. I'm gonna have to change the name, but for now, that name is that name. I put there about my experiences, but with more details, what I have told with Dr. Michael Sala, since I already showed my face. And also, I got an Instagram channel called jp.missions that I put stories there and information that I share as well.
If people want to ask you questions, are you open to that?
Yeah, yeah, I'm open for that.
Should they leave them as comments under your videos or message you on Instagram?
Yeah, they can message me in Instagram and ask me in YouTube.
JP, before we finish up, can you leave us with a last positive message?
Always share the love frequency to your loved ones and the people around you. Be always positive and always bring that heaven to earth. When I say heaven to earth, make this a heaven for yourself. Always think positive of everything that you do and love others. That's what I always leave for everybody. The love. You need that love frequency in order to prosper in life. Jeff, thank you for this beautiful opportunity to talk to the people that listen to your show. Much love. Thank you so much.
JP, thank you for your message and for being my guest. Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.